234. Sometimes it's not the best moment.
Not a bad payday, though.
Not a bad payday at all. $11,000 for fifth. The oil there that it hit almost didn't get over that 4-pin. Eric basically just needs a mark in these last two frames in order to wrap this up. Smooth in. And gets the message, right? You used to carry them like that all the time, didn't you?
Oh, it's an easy game when you got that going for you, Mike. When you can carry those off the corner like that, you know you got it going for you. Look at the concentration, the very steady head, a good straight-up follow-through. And there's a success. You see the 5-pin go to the wall. The head pin comes all the way across, takes out the 7-pin.
And that pretty much wrote history to this match.
And right now, I'm sure with his experience, he's thinking, stay lined up. Don't get lazy. Like that.
Like that. The speed was slower.
And what that does is that loses your confidence going into the next match. See, now he'll have to sit on the bench while his opponent warms up for the next game. And that's what's going to be in his mind. I made a bad shot. When he starts the next match, the odds are very good. He's going to be very light on the head pin on his first shot.
Bowling is just really a mental game. You're playing games with yourself, and you got an opponent, but a lot of times that opponent is yourself.
That's the most difficult one to master, is yourself.
Finishes with 234. Still a very excellent opening game for Eric Forkel. He's going to win this match and move on to face Billy Cathey in their next match. Mark Bowers can finish out the string with 214, and just wasn't his day. The pocket 7-10, the 10-pin, 4-pin, and now a 7. Very solid game, but just not quite enough to beat Mr. Forkel.
The same situation, the same hits, he might have shot 250. It's just one of those days where it just wasn't going to work for him. Eric is, again, very aggressive, very confident. Should be a good match in the next one. A young man that has never bowled on television before, Billy Cathey.
Finishing out with a strike, a finish at 203. Waiting for that ball to come back, saying all's forgiven. And of course, the fill ball always carries, doesn't it?
Seems that way, Mike.
That's the final score, 234 to 203. In our next match, we're going to have Billy Cathey from Dallas, Texas, going against Eric Forkel to see if he can keep it going. Be back with us. And finishes 6 through 24, and Curtis Messer is a 3 chopper downer, isn't he, Earl?
Well, I don't know what he does for a living, but he should be bowling, I'll tell you that. He throws the ball extremely well. He's a local boy from my part of the country. Then you got Bob Benoit, who's a very successful touring player, and he bowled extremely well. Averaged about 233 this week.
Not too bad, not too bad. Henry Gonzalez, a familiar name from Colorado Springs, and Mike Edwards finished runner-up in this tournament a couple years ago.
And he just doesn't seem to be able to win. One of these days, Mike's going to get it together. Of course, Jim Pensack, he's always seems to be in the hunt for a win, no matter where he's at.
Alan Bishop won earlier this year at Quaker State, Grand Prairie, Texas.
Jimmy Johnson, son of the Hall of Famer Don Johnson. Jimmy's making his own name for himself. He's won a major event on the tour already.
And the great Pete Weber, Triple Crown winner, one of only 3 bowlers to do it. Parker Bone finishing out George Branham. In our next match, we're going to have Billy Cathey from Dallas, Texas, seeing if he can stop Eric Forkel. Don't go away. Well, you'd like to say the advantage is with Mr. Forkel here. Billy Cathey looks a little scared out there.
He looks very nervous. His first time on national television and bowling for a major championship. Of course, bowling against someone that is experienced as Eric Forkel is, it's not going to help his confidence very much. If he can get out of the gate well, first 3 or 4 frames, he's got a chance. If he starts poorly, Forkel will bury him.
For that shot.
He did. He's very, very charged up. You can see he's right now. I doubt if he could sign his name very well. His hands are probably shaking. He's very nervous, and that's to be expected.
That heart rate has to be going at a tremendous pace right now.
And you can see the difference in the two players. Forkel's so relaxed, as Cathey is just the opposite.
Eric just keeps pouring him in the pocket, but this guy's going to this lane where he went high in the 10th frame. Is that going through his mind?
I'm sure it is. And remember, he threw that split in the 10th, Mike. We talked about that, and mentally he's thinking right now, was that me or was that the lane changing? So I would expect him to throw this ball a little harder and maybe come in light in the pocket rather than get in trouble.
And in your opinion, it was definitely him and not the lane.
No question in my mind that he actually threw the ball a little softer, and that's what made it hook high in the headpin. Let's see if he actually throws the ball harder. I don't think he'll move, but I think he'll try to pick up his ball speed. I think he did throw it hard. And he got it. Great shot.
Well, that shows maturity of a bowler, to recognize that. The old rule is that you never adjust for a bad shot. He evidently recognized that and didn't make that adjustment except to keep that speed up.
That's the most important thing in this type of a situation. If you make a mistake on the lanes, that's going to cost you dearly. It's going to be by setting the ball short or going soft with the speed. Time after time over the years, we've both watched players make that kind of a shot, especially after, say, a commercial break. They'll come back. The first shot is a little soft, big 4.
Good speed, and it creeps high, leaves the 3-6, 9-10.
Very fast with his speed. He's very pumped up right now mentally, and he's got the adrenaline going. He's going to the foul line very quickly. And here's a good look at his approach. Now watch him. Watch the feet speed up and really pull that ball through hard. Good balance.
Looks good from the side there.
Looks
got
good
a tough spare here.
Very difficult. He wants that ball to cover that 9-pin. Doesn't want it.
That was tougher in the strike.
I think so, especially this early in the match for him, and that might help his confidence a little bit. The fact that he did make a very difficult shot successfully.
Well, he had the choice and picked the right lane to finish on. So evidently he feels like he can stand up there in the 10th frame, and if he needs a strike, get it on that lane. Doesn't make it. 2-4-5. Looks like he doesn't really have a lot of area, not as much as, say, the Mark Bowers had in the opening match.
I agree, Mike. His style of play is more direct than the other players, and if he makes a mistake, it has to be a pull. He has to get the ball inside his target because that's where most of the oil is, and it'll help him. If he makes a mistake to the outside of his target or to the right, the ball won't get back to the pocket. He has to keep his speed up, and he has to be more direct than the other players. He has plenty of hitting power. The ball hits hard, but by going more direct like that, he does eliminate some of the area on the lane that DeAntremont might have or a Bauer.
Eric Forkel, leading already by 13, has a chance to really put the screws down to Billy. Boy, he's smooth. Just the difference between watching him this year and last year, to me, is just so great.
Well, this is a fortunate shot, and especially with that 15-pounder we're talking about. Again, the angle he's playing, you see the ball, it's outside the first arrow. The ball is rolling up to the pocket, but watch the ball deflect. See it bounce left when it hit the pins? That's that light ball, but he did get the pin action off the wall. And I think part of that is the synthetic pin decks that helped get the pins to fly out of the channel like that. Of course, the urethane balls help a little bit, too.
A lot of things in the contemporary game today. One more.
And I hate to beat a dead horse here, but there's that 15-pound ball again. Now that 16-pound ball and that same Same hit, would have been a strike.
It would have gotten the 10 pin out of there. Huh?
No question in my mind. The 5 would have hit the 10 instead of laying in front of it there. But he gives up something to gain something. He wants the ball to be light for the ball speed that he can get with a lighter ball, and the fact that it will deflect a little bit and not cut through and leave, say, the 6-8 or, pocket splits that are from too much power.
Well, how about 7 pins? Does he leave less solid 7 pins with the lighter ball?
I believe so, yes. I think the deflection actually helps him carry. Percentage-wise, he's better off.
Well, he gives Billy Cathey a little breathing room. At least he stopped striking, but Billy's still trailing by 22 pins. He needs to get some strikes going.
I think as long as he's done extremely well so far, Billy he hasn't had the open. That was very possible. He made 2 bad shots, got away with both of them, made 2 tough spares. He's still in the match. He didn't get the open. That would have killed him.
Fool looks down at the approach. Where did I finish? Where did I start? Is it me, or is it the lane breaking down, the 3-6-10?
Here's a look at the release of Billy Cathey. Look at his arm swing, Mike. It's a very unique style in that he actually gets the ball at the top of his swing out away from his body and then has to get it back on line at the bottom. And if he gets a little quick with his feet, he'll never get it back on line. And I think that could be part of his problem.
So it's a style that would magnify under pressure. I mean, it would be more difficult to repeat it the greater the pressure, wouldn't it be?
I agree. There's no question that with that kind of an arm swing, if he doesn't get it back in position at the bottom of the swing to get through the ball properly, project the ball the way he wants through the first part of the lane, the head area, the ball's going to overreact, either go left or right, and that's his problem right now. I think he's just not getting. I think if he could slow his feet just a little bit more, so he had time to get the ball back in the right position at the bottom, he'd be better off.
Sure hits hard enough when he does get it there. Right now, he's trailing in this match by 25 pins. When we come back, we'll see if Mr. Forkel can continue winning games. And there's Darrell Dobbs, the executive director of the American Bowling Congress, a man who's been very important for the ABC and the sport of bowling.
Yes, not only for the American Bowling Congress, but also for the Professional Bowling Association. He's created a hands-on friendship there that has worked well for both organizations.
Eric Forkel trips out that 6 pin. There's that light ball coming in and helping him this time as it hurt him the last time.
Very businesslike in his approach to the game right now. He's very confident, very aggressive.
Reminds me of a left-hander I saw about 10 years ago that was very businesslike and very confident and very aggressive.
Dave Davis.
Yeah. Although he was too.
Something bothered him. Again, that's the experience. He sets it down. He's going to start over.
Yeah, I think he hears something in the back. The mechanics or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it is. He's looking over to our Chuck Mazzano, the director here today, coordinator. Look at that ball down just below his waist. Got that 7 pin out there.
Yes, he did. He's got everything going for him right now. His carry is very good, and he's making great shots. It's going to be very hard for Billy. Billy has to get it going now. He's to the point where he can't afford to make any more bad shots.
And he hasn't made a good one on this right lane yet.
No, he hasn't.
You think he's going to move this time, or will he just try and execute better?
I've watched all week. I've watched the tournament. I've watched almost every match that was played. When he was in trouble, he just threw it harder. And that's probably what he'll do here, throw it harder. And he did.
He looks a little more relaxed now. I mean, there's a color in the face now.
Well, I think he's gotten by those first few frames that we talked about, which are the tough ones, especially your first time again on national television. I think by getting through those without the big 4 or any mental errors as far as his spare shooting goes, he's got some more confidence now. It could be a good match if he gets through. If he gets a strike here, Mike, I think we could have a great match.
Well, if he strikes here, he cuts it to 15. So it's a big shot.
Well, he's thinking, I got a chance to win this. Here's a look at that last shot. That is about as good as you can hit him, Mike. Dead flush in the pocket, and no deflection on that ball. think he liked that one, huh?
Yeah, I think he liked that. I think his wife liked it, too. Boy, nothing seems to derail this man, though.